And then I came back after 5 years there, which was a glorious period, to the International Fund for Agricultural Development. It's another part of the United Nations system, really founded mostly with the inspiration of Kissinger. And again, it was a similar situation, but a little differently, in that millions of dollars were loaned to countries, but women didn't have access because they were not legally affiliated with the bank, unless it was in a matrilineal succession where they had matrilineal succession and ownership of land. And women weren't benefiting. There were not women on the teams that developed the projects. And so I thought the best group that I could ever bring together would be the women bankers. And a great friend was the first woman manager of Barclays in Kenya, and we brought women bankers. And then my president, Idris Jaziri, said, you know, I think we should involve the first ladies. I said, first ladies? Oh, really? He said, you know, they have such an influence, of course, over their family, over their husbands. I would like a consortium. I said, well, do we have money for that, Mr. President? Well, no, but you can raise the money. So it took 2 years. We had 5 regional meetings. We had an international meeting. The international meeting was chaired by Leticia Shahani, who was Secretary General of the United Nations Conference in Nairobi, Kenya. And then I had to bring in the women bankers, the advisors. So we got really to learn about the problems of those countries represented at the regional meetings. We brought that in. We had a manifesto read by Audrey Hepburn, and we had the international meeting in Geneva at the Palais des Nations. And we said to all of the first ladies, now in coming in, you can only have a delegation of 8. Oh yes, of course, delegation. So the day came, and Mrs. Babangida, whom I adore, brought in 2 plane loads. So, you know, here's United Nations, Geneva. Anyway, we had enough space for everybody, and it was truly a success, and with great credit to the president and the women bankers, it began to change. And we ensured that the first ladies were involved. When these missions went in, we ensured that more women bankers were involved, and we looked at also the legal codes to say, you've got to change these, that women need to get that access and be officially registered as part of your banking system. And then I decided perhaps it was time to come home. So I moved back to the United States. I moved back to New York City, and I was a deputy director for the Program Funding Office. And again, it was a situation where we were dependent very much on just 12 governments. So my job was really to work with the private sector. And those were the days when Ted Turner and Bill Gates was coming in. And the UN Foundation was established with $1 billion coming in from Ted Turner. So the job was to get the matching of funding to the degree that I could. And then I was a liaison with the World Bank. But then I decided it was time to come home to Nebraska.